So this horse is Sundance, and he is a 3, 4-year-old quarter horse. And this is actually right after one of my clinics. And so at this point, where you see me working with him, his owner Francis had come to me, and I had seen her trying to load him, and he was rearing up, he was striking out at her, and he was just refusing to load. And this is one of those instances, very common, where you have a horse that's loaded maybe dozens upon dozens of times. And at this particular instance, he decided, nope, I am not going in there. And so you're going to see a lot of times you'll have horses that are taught to load. And what will happen is you just kind of gradually teach them to step up in that trailer. But if you don't teach them how to send in there with confidence, they'll never learn how to choose going in the trailer because it's a good place to be. Because inevitably, the time will come where your horse, like this horse, right after a long clinic, he did not want to get into a, let's just call it what it is. You know, trailers are small, cramped, hot, stuffy. It's not ideal, right? But what we're going to see here is I'm trying to show him that trying to get out of the work by either trying to turn his butt to me, by lunging forward at me, none of that is going to work. The only thing that's going to get him out of the pressure here is going in the trailer. So you're going to see this horse was a little bit aggressive at some points, and he'd really lunge up high, rear up, and it's always a little bit frightening when you're working with a horse like that. But the important thing, like right here, where he's kind of trying to run past me here, the important thing is to make sure that you stay in a safe position and don't get too excited. Take those deep breaths and just kind of stay with your horse. And you see, even when he's acting up, I just go right back to it, say no sir, to the trailer, lunging out like that, rearing up. That's not going to get you out of the work. And then I bring him over by the trailer here, and step by step, I'm like, okay, no, that's not going to work. I draw him back. I stick with him. I'm adding pressure with my stick, kind of trying to push him that way. I'm still sticking with him there, right? And you can see that he's not happy, okay? He obviously is upset that I'm kind of sticking with him here. And so he thinks that if he does all this drama and theatrics, that it's going to work and that eventually I'll let up and he'll get his way. But you can see that I'm sticking there. Good, he put a step in there. And when he put that foot in there, I took a little bit of pressure off to say good boy, but then I go right back to it to see if he'll put his foot back in there. So it's not enough that he just steps on there. I want him to step on there and wait for me before he retracts or backs away. So I'm just gently tapping on his hind end and see I'm not getting any response out of him, so I'm gradually tapping a little bit harder. Again, there we go. We got 2 steps in there. I immediately stop tapping. And you can't really hear the audio on this, but the moment he steps in there, I'm taking a nice, big, deep breath, trying to reinforce the idea that when he goes into the trailer, that's a good place to be. So now what I'm doing, since he gave me 2 steps, 2 feet in there, I'm saying, okay, you gave me 2 feet in there, you got to rest and relax for a little bit, but now you're going to have to work. And so if you go away from the trailer, he was trying to lunge out away from the trailer earlier. I'm saying, let me tell you and show you what that looks like. It looks like a lot of work. And so you can see I'm sending him out with quite a bit of intention, with energy, making him walk out here. And you'll notice when I came back and faced into the trailer, I just kind of slowed down my body language here. Very relaxed, very as a matter of fact. Right now I'm taking deep breaths and kind of just affirming him, letting him know by putting that nose in there that was a good decision. So you can see him start to tip that nose away from the trailer towards me. You'll see I'll immediately pick up that stick kind of to protect myself, like right there, and also to kind of guide him back towards the trailer. Again, he took that step in there. I stopped tapping. Nice big deep breath. Good boy. Letting him know that by standing there, he's made a really good decision, and I'm going to leave him alone. So when he steps out here, I'm going to see if I can just drive him back in there. There. Nice big deep breath. I stopped the tapping, And then that time, what I did when he backed up and he wanted to turn towards me, I just took my hand, pushed him back so he was facing the trailer. And now I'm saying, okay, you wanted to see what's out here. Let me remind you, out here is quite a bit of work. You're going to have to work. It's not about forcing my horse to go in there. Anybody can do that, right? I mean, we see that all the time. You'll see a couple of cowboys lock hands together and scoot up behind a horse's hind end and throw them in there. You'll see people run ropes around their hind end and run them through the front end of the trailer and try to get them in there. It's not about making my horse do this. It's about showing them that they can make one of two decisions right now. And I want them to choose the decision that they want to make. I want them to choose that being there. Look at that. Standing nice and still for a few moments. And so I'm going to reinforce that idea that when he makes a good decision, that I leave him alone by once he steps in there, I take the pressure off and ask him again. Let's see, I'm adding pressure. I'm sticking with it. I'm not quitting. Continuing to tap here, continuing to tap. He's rearing up. He's throwing a fit, saying, no, it's not going to work. I'm not going to go in there. And I am staying very persistent. I mean, look at that. I mean, he is just kind of losing his mind there, saying, nope, this isn't where I want to go. But notice how I stick with him. Anytime he comes towards me, you see how I quickly bring that stick up. I give him a little bit of a tap on that neck area and say, no, sir, stay away from me. Right there, I want him to move away out of my space. And now I'm going back to tapping to push him back in the trailer to let him know that when you get in there, I'm going to take the pressure away. Take those nice big deep breaths. Right there, I took a deep breath just because he oriented himself towards the trailer. So I kind of had to give a little bit here because originally I'd gotten 2 steps. I had to go back and say, okay, I'm not getting 2 steps. Let me see if I can just get him to face up and stick his nose in there. And I'll take that just to kind of gradually get him to go in there. And see that last time he put 2 steps in, but there he is again. He says, nope, not going in there. It's a terrible place to be. And I'm telling him, actually, this is a good place to be. You want to be in this trailer. Once you step in there, I quit tapping. I quit messing with you there. See, look, isn't that good? I stopped tapping. I'm going to take a deep breath. I see me starting to rub him there, saying, good job, bud. Like, this is nice. This is the best place for you to be. Okay, so here I back him up and I say, okay, I'm going to remind you, you can either be out here working hard, sending around, and I'm really just kind of getting after him a bit, sending him around, giving him a little bit of incentive, if you will, to actually want to stand and relax and rest when I give him the opportunity to go back into the trailer. It's all about how we frame these things and present it to our horse. So when I say opportunity, I'm not making him go into the trailer. I'm showing him a really good option. I'm giving him an opportunity to go into that trailer. So right here, I'm just kind of yielding his hindquarters around, really getting him to work. If you're working in a spot where you don't have a big open pasture like where I am right now, and you're in a tight space, you can still work that pony by getting them to yield that hindquarter right around them. And that puts a lot of work on a horse when they're yielding that hindquarter around and driving those hind ends deep underneath them. So there we go. I'm resting him right here. He's facing the trailer. Look at him. He's licking and chewing. I say, okay, let's see. Ooh, he took a step closer there. I like that. And so if you could hear the audio, you would hear me taking a nice big deep breath and saying, let's step in there, bud. Come on, let's get there. Oh, good pony. Nice big deep breath again and just reaffirming him, letting him know, man, you made some really good decisions here. Good job. This is great. So he's standing there. Oh, he's trying to come out on his own. I'm going to try for a little bit, see if I can push him back in there. Good. Good. Oh, yeah. I like how that hind end moved forward. See how at times like this, I'll just kind of leave him alone. Let him sit there and rest to kind of, oh, look at that. He's scooting that hind end in a little more. I'm going to go back to it, just adding a little bit of pressure on that back leg to see if maybe he'll pick it up for me. You notice how I'm communicating directly with that leg, right? So I'm not just, there, good boy. I'm not just whacking him on the butt there. I'm communicating specifically with the leg that I want him to move at that point so that I can help build his confidence and he'll begin to understand what it is I'm asking and expecting of him. Okay, so interesting point too. You see how he's trying to get out there, and when he stepped in, he immediately turned around. So when Frances loads her horse, she steps him in and she turns him around so that he can ride backwards. So he automatically kind of does that on his own. I don't want him just doing that on his own. So in a little bit, I'm going to have him kind of wait for me before he turns around when he enters. But we're going to pick one thing at a time. I don't want to just, get everything going and confuse him and put a lot on him. I'm just happy that he loaded into the trailer and chose that decision rather than having to do the work outside. Again, it's not about forcing our ponies. It's about presenting them with two decisions. Here are your decisions. You can go into the trailer where you can rest and relax and things are pretty awesome. Or you can be out here and working your tail off. And you can see me getting after him here. When he picks that head up and tries to come over the top of me, I kind of push him off. And I'm going to represent here, reapproach and say, hey, remember this spot? Oh, yeah, but this is, it's the good spot. This is the good spot. And I'm just going to talk to that hind leg there. Nice big deep breath. There, I'm just standing there with him. And again, he's a little bit anxious to turn around. So you see how I'm kind of holding him. So he can't just turn around completely 100% here. Because I really want him to wait for me before he commits to that turn. So I was able to catch him a little bit earlier before he turned here. And in fact, you just saw me. I just kind of stepped him back a little bit. And then when I'm ready, once he settles his feet, then I'm going to go ahead and turn him. In fact, I might even end up backing him up just to see how he backs up. Because it's important for him to know how to do both. So we're going to back him up here, nice and slow. And as I'm backing him up, I'm telling him back, now down, good, back, and nice big deep breath. Now here's the thing though, I want to get right back to reminding him that there's work out here. So I don't want him to rest outside of the trailer for too long. I want him to get the majority of his rest in the trailer. So really important, don't just back your horse out and then start, oh, good boy, right? And you're rubbing and loving on him and telling him how awesome they are. Save that reward for when he's actually in the trailer so that you can really, again, look at that. I'm saying, hey, move that hind end underneath you. Remember, it's a lot of work. And now I'm saying, okay, but hey, look at this spot. Look, can you just step right up in there for me? Good. All right. And how about that hind end? Can you put that? Oh, yeah. Good job. Good job, bud. Very good. And so now I'm able to just begin to create kind of a history between me and Sundance, that wherever I tell him to go, look, I'm rubbing on him. This is a good place to be. I promise. I'm not going to steer you wrong here. Being with me and just kind of sticking with it and trusting me. Look, you're going to get to rest and enjoy being in there rather than having to deal with things that are much more labor intensive. They're going to have you working your butt off. Okay, so I'm having him stand there. I'm rubbing on my pony. I'm also taking nice big deep breaths. And you can see me there. I'm kind of explaining to Francis like the process here, right? It's kind of funny because just a few moments ago, he's striking out and rearing up and acting like a crazy pony. But now he's climbing right in there. And it's not because I'm doing anything magical or anything like that. It's just that I'm sticking with it and I'm being very clear with what my expectations are. One thing too that I was telling Francis, it's so important to make sure that you are in a safe position when you're asking your horse to load. And so by sending my horse, when he was acting crazy, he wasn't able to run over the top of me because I was off to the side, I was prepared, and I had the ability to maintain pressure to send him in there even when he was acting crazy without getting hurt. And so that's really important to position yourself. So look at how he's backing up here. I mean, nice and quiet and slow. I mean, that was just textbook right there, okay? And that's what we're looking for. I'm really, really pleased with that and how he loads up and he backs up. So I'm just going to approach, let him rest there for a little bit. And now it's going to be time for Frances to give it a go because I want for her to be able to load her horse into the trailer nicely and comfortably without all the drama and fuss. So you can see I'm grabbing the camera from her here And now she's got her pony. So I'm telling her, okay, so show him the first option first. Go ahead and start putting him to work here. So she's going to start sending her pony out and around on a circle to let him know that out here away from the trailer, there is a lot of work he's going to have to do. So she's doing a good job of just getting right after it, sending him around, reinforcing the idea that away from the trailer is work. And you can see where she starts to kind of now drift towards the trailer. And one of the things that I'm encouraging her to do is when he's on the trailer side of that circle, kind of start to slow her feet down and relax so that he knows that that's a place he wants to go to. So watch what she does here. Nice big deep breath on the trailer side, working him away from the trailer. She kind of starts to slow down a little bit and start to drift towards the trailer with him. Good. Good. Let's see how we do here. How's this approach going to look with him here? She says, okay, I'm going to try and push him. Okay, he's not going. She says, okay, we're going back to work. I gave you the option and the opportunity to go to the trailer where you get to rest, but you didn't take that option, and that was a bad decision. So now you have to deal with the consequences, which means working. And again, I'm not going to beat and whoop on you and all that kind of stuff. I'm just showing you two options. Totally your decision which option you take. So here she goes again. She's showing him the trailer. She's going to give him a chance here. She's adding a little bit of pressure there. Look at him start to move forward. Oh, my goodness. Wow, what a pony. Good job. Good. So he kind of turns pretty quickly. And you see how when he turned like that, he almost unsettled her feet there, kind of almost got her in the face there. That's why it's important to really make sure that we kind of get ahead of them and make sure that they aren't trying to anticipate and turn on their own. But she's doing a good job. She pushed him right back around where he wasn't turning. And now she's just rubbing on him and affirming him, saying, good boy, this is the spot where you want to rub and love on them. Let them know that they're doing a good job. Not after you unload them, because again, we want to create a very positive association with the trailer so that every time we ask him to jump into that trailer, he says, yes, ma'am, let me get up in there. I'm more than happy to go wherever you tell me to, because I always know you lead me to good places. You lead me to places of rest and relaxation. So she's gradually backing him up, and she's throwing him back, and she told him down, and then back, and then, wow, look at that. I mean, that was a really good backup there. You see him licking and chewing. I love that. Oh, my goodness. Big, huge difference. And I love to see these transformations with our horse. And so this is going to be one of those things that Frances and Sundance can now build upon, because now she's created a history with him where, oh man, look at that. And you notice how he didn't try to immediately turn that time, right? He was a gentleman. I mean, very, very relaxed and quiet and obedient. And he wants to be in that trailer because he knows that Frances is sending him to good places. So this is a good spot to finish working with him on this. You know, you don't want to sour him by loading and unloading and loading and unloading and so on and so forth. Now, you notice, of course, I did load and unload him several times just in order to teach him what it was I wanted from him. So after this last time, Frances unloads him here. She's going to take a deep breath, rub him for a little bit, and then she's going to walk him right back up on that trailer, shut the divider on him, and load her other horse and head home. But this has put them in a really good spot where they can build off of this and continue to build his confidence. Now, does this mean your horse is going to always be perfect after a session like this? Absolutely not, but they are going to be so much more prepared to do well in the future because you've kind of built in the tools and expectations for them to understand that going wherever you send them to go is a great place to go. And because of that, you are going to build their confidence and trust in you in a way that counts because they know that you are a leader that they can count on time and time again.